Hey! I haven't made a video in a little while, so I'm gonna do a studio tour video for you. I've been asked by a few people to show them my place, and I just got a new place that I've been busy renovating and working in, and I'm really happy with it, so I'm gonna show it to you. First things first is we've got this solid wood door. That is crucial because it keeps my noise from spilling out too much, and more importantly, it keeps outside noise, which is right now we're outside, from spilling into the studio. So let's open up and see what we're working with here. This is Borland Studio. This is where I work all day, every day. And I am going to get right over here to the heart of the studio, which is this desk made by Argosy. Here we have leather armrests. This was sort of a luxury. I felt like I owed it to myself. When I was buying the house, I was really scared, really freaked out, because you're buying a house and I record for a living. So having to support myself on art while having a mortgage was this big scary notion. But I felt like maybe if it's so serious that I'm able to buy a house with it, it's finally time to give myself somewhere worth sitting. So I sit here all day. It doesn't hurt my arms because I am a leaner. I have terrible posture. But here's what we have in the desk. We've got a distressor, which I usually track through. I don't use it a whole lot in mixing. But I'd say, gun to my head, have one compressor ever, it would be the distressor. And then I've got a pair of Yuri 7110s below that. I use those mostly on kick drums and room mics. I'm not too huge on how it sounds on most other things, but for kicks and room mics, those are the only compressors. And then I've got a patch bay here, which I have labeled with painter's tape and Sharpie. And then I've got a guitar tuner under that. And then over here, on the other side of the desk, we've got a palindrometer, which is crucial to the Borland sound. And then a pair of preamps. We've got a Focusrite ISA 2 preamp, and yeah, the mics are picking me up talking. And if I talk even louder, then they pick me up more, as most LEDs do. And then I've got the Pro MPA 2 by Art, which is a tube preamp, and I love that on, drum overheads, maybe acoustic guitars, and then drum shells and vocals, I'll use the Focusrite. And then up top, on either side, we've got NS10s. Those are from 1985, I think. They're definitely older than me, I can say that for sure. And then I've got a pair of Yorkville YSM2Ps, and those are, together, the two of them, the ugliest speakers as far as the mid-range I've ever heard. My philosophy is, if I can make my mix sound good through those, I can make them sound good anywhere. So they've served me pretty well. I don't imagine ever using anything else other than these until something dies, and then I'll be heartbroken. In the center of it all, I've got this PreSonus Monitor Station 2. It's got handy buttons because you can switch between different speakers. You can switch between different sources, so if you've got a headphone mix coming out from your interface, it can come into here, and you can use these source buttons actually to give specific headphone mixes to certain people. It's basically an A/B thing. It's not too sophisticated, but it gets the job done. I've never even needed to use half the features this thing has, so it's more than enough for me, and I'm really grateful to have it. And then over here are my drums, which if you've seen my other YouTube videos, I played those in those videos. It's a Franken kit. You've got dynamic percussion rack tom, DW floor tom, I think it's a PV kick drum, and then a Mapex snare, and then you've got a selection of AAX and Zildjian A cymbals. Around the corner, oh, that's the couch. You've probably seen in all of my videos that weren't hardcore mixing videos. That's the couch. Around here, I've got a Vox AC30, modded PV, Valve King. I've got an American Telecaster, an Epiphone RuPaul Jr., a Yamaha acoustic, and then a Samick bass guitar. And then around over here we have an Oasis Q88. Now, this is the most important thing I'm going to say this whole video. Right down here, you essentially got an XLR patch bay, power amps for the speakers, but then we have this, the Tascam Us 1800. This is a very, very cheap piece of gear. It runs about $300 Canadian. I cannot stress enough, everything I did for the first, I want to say 2.5 years of recording, aside from like microphones, this was the only piece of gear I had. So if you have it in your head that, you know, your mixes aren't sounding right because you need, you know, this plugin or this piece of gear, I, for the longest time, was using Reaper with stock plugins and this interface, and that lasted me years before I was able to, or even necessarily wanting to, have anything else. So you do not need all this crap to make your recording sound good. All you need are microphones that function and an interface so that you can get into the computer. Or if you're a total baller and you're recording analog, good for you. I'm proud of you. I wish I could be you, but I am not. And then around the corner here is something that I love about my studio, and that is bunk beds! We have bunk beds here at Borland Studio, so that if you're coming from out of town, you don't have to drive or, you know, 3 hours each way, or you don't need to get a hotel just to record with me. You can slam in here. And then we have a Vox. This cab has been on absolutely everything I've ever recorded. It's a Vox, oh shit, what's it called? It's a Vox V412BN, and it's got a V30 in the bottom left, and it is my favorite guitar cabinet. It weighs as much as an orange 412, but it isn't an orange 412. It's much smaller, and in my opinion, it sounds better. And then over here, to keep people busy, because, well, the bass player is doing his tracks, you know, maybe he's taking forever and everyone's getting bored, and especially the drummer's getting fidgety. I know, because I am a drummer. We've got all these systems here, which right now we've got Legend of Dragoon in. It's a classic, it's one of my favorite video games of all time. We've got a GameCube, a PS1, an NES, an N64, and then upstairs we have a Wii, PS3, Xbox 360, and a Super Nintendo. And that, oh, and there's a bathroom. So you can go and poop, maybe pee, if you're into that. That's my studio. So I hope you enjoyed it. Seeing all my stuff, I enjoyed showing it to you. And show me yours. I would love to see what you're working with. So down in the comments, or add me on Facebook, or wherever, show me what you're working with, because I think it's really cool that we live in the internet age and we all get to like share ideas and share our approaches. And yeah, I don't know how to end videos